Good morning. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So excited to have you with us this morning because it's a Friday Fun Day. We are joined by Adam Russell from Opus Bank and from CSUSB's Jack Brown School of Business and Public Administration's Business Alliance. Adam Russell, good morning.
Hey, good morning. It's Friday.
Woohoo!
Yes, indeed.
So glad to have you with us.
Love rock lobster.
It's a great song, right?
It's a rock lobster.
Well, and any kind of lobster, really, It's just a tasty
But you know the
meal.
irony of it? You call it tasty, and the B-52s are vegans. And I know this because having gone to one of their concerts back in the early 90s, there's vegan stuff, PETA stuff everywhere.
Wow, so they're vegans before it was stylish to be vegan.
Yeah, they are big vegans.
Wow. But they like rock lobster?
Apparently.
What is a rock lobster?
It's a type of lobster. It's a giant insect in the ocean.
So, I thought it was like something about a lobster rocking out.
Hey, maybe.
Maybe. Hey, can you pull your mic a little closer?
Yes, I can.
Oh, there you go.
Going in and out. Okay, I'm just going to play with the engineer.
Please don't.
Oh, okay.
All right, so what's going on this morning?
What's going on this morning? So there's a couple things. A couple things I want to talk about. First is there was a couple articles that came over the internet yesterday, and it was on millennials and retirement and owning homes.
Okay.
And on the retirement side, 66%, this was done by a Bank of the West survey, 66% of millennials are confident in their ability to use investment vehicles.
Wow,
so
that's high.
They think, they're confident. They seem to think that they can manage that. And it's about this. I don't know if it's the same people, but 2/3 want to stay, but they want to stay out of the market. And when I was teaching, I would ask my students, how many of you would you be in stocks? Would you be in money and in cash? And a lot. They were afraid of stocks.
Wow. And
this was, it's been a year since I've taught. That's going back 6 years. So in the last, 6 years ago to recently as 1 year ago, they were just sort of risk adverse on the stock market. And it all stems back to the recession where they saw how their parents were hammered.
Yep.
With their 401k, seeing it go down, anywhere from 40 to 60% or more.
Yeah.
Or less. And of course, you were hurt if you take your money out of the market. But the economic downturn has made them really conservative, and they've missed out. And you haven't had cash in equities over the last 5 or 6 years, you've really missed out on a significant rise in the market. Now this year, not so good, but we're still up this year than we were at up now than we were at the beginning of the year. So the market's still doing okay, actually pretty well. Of the millennials, 40% have a 401k, 23% have an IRA, 12% have a brokerage account. But they're really going to have to play catch up on getting there. Now the other, and I didn't write some of these stats down, but the scarier ones are like the other baby boomers, of which some don't have any retirement at all.
Yeah.
And it's, and I'm paranoid about, what is the right number. And you see, what the number being currently thrown around a lot now is having $1 million at retirement. If people could just have $250, that would, go a long way to helping out your Social Security, assuming you have Social Security.
Are we going to start seeing a lot more families doubling up, like Grandma Liz back with the kids again? I mean, is that where our country's headed?
Well, I think so. I mean, certainly, I think it's LA. Is it LA County? Or is it the state? I think it was the state that said you can build a mother-in-law's quarters, regardless of what your city's building permits are, building requirements are. You can have a mother-in-law quarters in your backyard.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is that I think before World War II, is people, kids would live at home.
Yeah.
And I was talking, my daughter number 2 has moved out.
Yeah.
The girls are moving out together. So I think I mentioned last time that they might be doing that. And I think daughter number 1 is going to be out this weekend. And so we'll be empty nesters. And I was mentioning this to a friend of mine whose family is from the Middle East. And he goes, well, in our culture, the girls stay home until they're married.
Yeah. Well, and Latino culture was largely like that. Is
Yeah.
largely like that as well.
Yeah, and you look at Little House on the Prairie, all those shows.
But they used to marry those girls off really young.
That's true.
So it wasn't like they were sitting in your house until they were 40.
Which is happening.
15 and between 15 and 20 was like
That's
the prime
true.
years to marry those girls off.
Yeah.
So when they become really obnoxious, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know. Oh, boy. I got to find a young man for those.
That's
for those,
right.
For those ladies. And so, here was a stat I did write down. 20% of all Americans have no retirement savings at all.
That is scary.
That is scary.
So,
I don't. It's interesting. The millennials have been really hosed. And, when you think about their ability to save money and their ability to purchase, to buy into the American dream, because university education is so ridiculously expensive.
Oh, wow.
And they were brought up with the idea that if you don't go to college, you're a loser.
Yes.
And so even people who...
And I think that's the biggest, actually, sin of what you're talking about now is the fact that if you don't go to college, you're a loser.
Yeah.
I really disagree with that.
I really disagree with it, too. I know what we pay our plumber.
Yeah.
And you said plumber, so I'm talking to a plumber company this week, and it is an ESOP-owned plumbing company. It's a pretty good size one.
ESOP?
ESOP, Employee Stock Ownership Program.
Gotcha.
And the stock of the company is held in ESOT, Employee Stock Ownership Trust. Won't get into all the details of that, but the company has revenues over $100 million.
Wow.
So it's a very
Good
big
size.
Yes. They do, work for Lennar and the big home builders, that sort of thing, commercial plumbers as well. He says, a lot of our plumbers make north of $100,000 a year.
Yeah. It's good money. Mm-hmm. Now, you have to have...
And they're starting their own training program because they can't find any.
Exactly. And you have to have people who have the basic skills to be able to even get to the point of being a plumber.
Yep.
Now, not only do they need to be able to work with their hands well, but there's math involved. There's, you have to understand how how houses are put together, et cetera, et cetera. There are no apprenticeship programs.
You have to have some understanding of metallurgy because different pipes made of different metals have interactions with each other. I mean,
yes.
It's weird stuff.
That would be chemistry, folks.
Yes.
So,
I would not be a plumber.
So imagine yourself that you are good with your hands. You're a man who's good with your hands. Like you can build things. You can, the guy who can take apart the VW Bug and put it back together. That guy. And you've been told your whole life that if you don't go to college, that you're a loser. You're growing up, and you really don't like school, but you go through because you think it's what you have to do. You don't finish because you hate it, and you've in the meantime accrued, let's just say $50,000-$60,000 in debt, which is probably pretty middle of the road.
Right.
And now, what are you supposed to do? You don't have the college degree. You have all of the debt.
Mm-hmm.
When are you going to buy a house?
Yeah.
And this is what our millennials were facing.
Yes. And the part of that survey for the millennials is 56% of them said that home ownership is the number one goal. So that was good. The second of the three goals, top three goals, number two was pay off all their debt. 51%, their top goal was to pay off all their debt. And for 49%, one of the top goals was to retire comfortably. So they had the priorities there. It's in mind. It's on their mind to get this done. 40% are homeowners already. I was a little surprised at that.
Yeah, except the oldest millennials are in their mid-30s.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was
mid to late 30s. Yeah, 80, 81.
80, 81 up to 98 or something like that, 99. Because as Gen Zers are 2000 on up, I think.
So like 98 on up?
Yeah, I think so.
99 on up?
Yeah. And 92% of all the goals, 92% owning a home is a goal, and 59% still think it's a good investment.
The thing about it is, if you look at the baby boomers, what university they cost when they were in, it was free. You can go to a UC campus for free.
We dug up, so we're cleaning everything out. My wife has taken this opportunity to clean everything out with the kids moving out. I got to find out where all my stuff is. We took a bunch of boxes down.
We've been doing that.
She's been going through her stuff. When I went to UCLA in 1980, it was $149 a quarter.
Crazy, right?
Okay. SC was $2,300 a semester.
Yeah, it's a little more than that now.
It's 20 times that.
Yeah, exactly. And to give you an example of how ridiculous things have gotten, we did a story yesterday, the Brady house, the one that they used the front cover.
Yeah.
The family that bought it in 1973 paid $61,000 for it. It's being sold by, I don't have my glasses on. Is that what that picture is? $1.884 million.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's a little nice investment.
And have wages increased enough to cover that gap? No.
So, I laughed when you said the number of $1 million saved up for retirement.
Yeah.
Because that number may work great out in the Midwest. I mean, that's like a really healthy retirement. But I'm not sure $1 million's enough in a state like California.
It would be a push, I think.
If you owned your home outright,
then it would be that's a big help if you own your, and that's my goal at the age of 65. In 10 years, I will have no debt on the house, but I've calculated it's still going to cost me about anywhere from $1,200 to $1,400 to live in my home debt free. Just property taxes, insurance, utilities is going to be $1,400.
So I'm sure that for a lot of people that reverse mortgages is part of their retirement plan.
Yeah, and that's true. That's a whole nother topic. And they were, I'm not going to say misused, but I guess they were misused earlier on. And then some rules and regulations were put in place. And I think now at this point, they've got that kind of down to a science now, pretty well regulated. Because, as long as there's a product, there's going to be a salesman that's going to sell it dishonestly.
Indeed. So it's time for a break.
Good. We'll talk about sales next.
I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we're talking with Adam Russell from Opus Bank and the CSUSB Jack Brown School of Business and Public Administration's Business Alliance. We'll be right back.
Success Partner presents the all-new Yucaipa and Cala Mesa Morning Market, located on the corner of County Line Road and California Street in the city of Yucaipa. This all-new neighborhood farmers market is open from 8 a.m. to noon on most Saturdays and carries some of the freshest produce in the Inland Empire. The Yucaipa and Cala Mesa Morning Market now open on most Saturdays at 13669 California Street in Yucaipa. 13669 California Street in Yucaipa. More information at 909-222-9293. That number again is 909-222-9293 or email successpartner@live.com. The all-new Yucaipa and Cala Mesa Morning Market, now open on most Saturdays in Yucaipa. Presented by Success Partner.
Did you know that digestion is vitally important to overall health and well-being? Optimize your digestive health with the broad spectrum of vegetarian enzymes in Quantum Nutrition Lab's Quantum Digest and Quantum Zymes. Both are buy two, get the third one free. And you'll want to add our organic Interleaf Aloe Liquid, Aloe 100, at special bulk pricing. Call 888-588-7578. That's 888-588-7578. Or visit us online at qnlabs.com. That's qnlabs.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD, host of Healthline. Tune in to get your questions answered and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family. Our product line, Quantum Nutrition Labs, delivers what others only promise, nutrition that really works.
Are you or a loved one suffering from an addiction? If so, help is available. Many people are getting help from a recovery center called Sheer Recovery. You can call Sheer Recovery now at 888-SHEER-51. That's 888-743-3751. If you have insurance, your treatment may be covered at little to no cost. Most importantly, you can't lose your job because you decide to get help. Sheer Recovery is staffed with professionals who understand addictions and how to treat addictions. They understand what an addicted person goes through every day. So if you or a loved one are suffering from an addiction, it's time to call Sheer Recovery at 888-SHEER-51. That's 888-743-3751. A better life begins with Sheer Recovery. Call 888-743-3751 or go online at www.sheerrecovery.com.
Hi, my name is Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Most people would love to be in the stock market, but they're scared not being in. They're scared about not getting out in time. Well, that is over, because now you can join Phil's Gang and my stock video program and follow me with specific stock on the video, and you will be out in time.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Why pay thousands of dollars for a weekend seminar when for only $39.95 a month, philsgang.com provides all the daily market investing information you need to make profits in the stock market. With over 40 years of investing experience, only Phil Grandy and the philsgang.com team provide daily live investing webinars, up-to-the-minute market updates, all the investing educational videos you can imagine. Don't hesitate to learn, invest, and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264.
Get all the facts, all you need to know on KCAA Radio.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. We continue our conversation with Adam Russell. We're listening to the Beastie Boys. And we are... He's from...
They're on the brink, and I'm over the cliff.
That's right.
There you go.
He's with Opus Bank and Jack Brown School of Business and Public Administration's Business Alliance. Of course, that's at Cal State San Bernardino.
Yep.
And so I think we're picking it up on sales.
Yes. Well, because we have Opus Bank, we have a program. We have 12 interns that come in every summer. And it is a fairly rigorous internship program where we have kids from all over the U.S. applying for this program at Opus Bank. It is. And these kids do not make copies, do not sort papers, do not put papers from one pile in another. They are helping executive management make decisions. They're doing the research. They're doing the presentations.
That's awesome.
They're taking the 12, divided into groups of 3. There's 4 groups of 3. Because we have a foundation that supports nonprofits. They took them out to the nonprofits. Okay, you're each going to go to a different nonprofit and state the case for why they should be supported. You're going to work at the nonprofit, and
so how do you get? If you're a nonprofit, how do you become part of that group?
We contact the foundation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to put in a good word for us.
Okay. But what they do is they get the kids out there, and it's we're in the outskirts, in the hinterlands, in the Inland Empire. It's pretty funny. That's a whole different conversation. But this is mostly Orange County, and they bring in high school kids for interviews. They have programs, and it's focused around financial literacy and kids, because that seems to be the theme for the management of the company. And these kids do research, and they're presenting next week to the foundation board on which nonprofits to support what they do, that sort of thing. So this is not showing up and kind of hanging around, making copies and that sort of thing. This is very rigorous internships. I mean, one of the girls there is working on her master's in financial engineering.
Financial engineering?
Yeah.
Is that how to cook the books?
Very good.
Right?
That was very good, Aaron. Oh, my gosh, without skipping a beat.
Yeah. Early on a Friday morning. She's sharp as a tack, let me tell you.
It certainly could be.
Either that or I'm so sleep-deprived I'm loopy.
Yeah, it certainly could be used to do that. But it's like, financial instruments on Wall Street, and what's the stuff that gets a lot of people in trouble because most people can't understand it. But I think she's probably one of the smartest people in the room there when we're there.
That's pretty impressive.
So one of the things is then the interns have various interests. And I sent an email to them, hey, look, I'm going out cold calling Wednesday morning. Be knocking on doors. Anybody want to go? Because some people said, yeah, I want to get into sales. Well, part of sales is wearing out shoe leather. And so Reva Greenbaum raises her hand, and she's originally actually from Newport Beach. So she comes out to the IE, and she knows where the IE is because she has friends at Claremont McKenna. which really it's on the outskirts of the IE. So
yeah.
And we did not actually go into Fontana and Rialto. We'll do that next time. But we were over in Laverne, San Dimas, because we have an office there, and I was targeting that area. And so we went out door to door. We visited 16 businesses in 4 hours. And I also took the opportunity to ask the gatekeepers, so I have this intern here who wants to get into sales. Now, you as the gatekeeper, what are the things that you want to see when someone comes in the door? And there were a variety of responses. One is obviously well organized. Make sure you have your material. Make sure you take a business card and leave a business card, obviously. But the one that came up a couple of times was come in with a smile. And I said, well, doesn't that everyone? She goes, oh, no. You'd be surprised.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, and I think of, there was the phrase in Death of a Salesman, Willie Loman, there's something about on a easy with a smile.
Yeah.
There's that phrase in there, and I should read that book again. But anyway. And so it was a good lesson for her. We met some people, no, not interested, see you later. Nothing, I've never, ever been thrown out. I've been, the guy meets me at the door, yeah, we're not interested, you can leave. Okay, whatever.
That's still kind of rude.
It is, but, some people, I figure, you know what? I don't know what their day's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know. Maybe that guy's dad died, the day
That's
before.
True.
I don't know. And so I always kind of take it with that sort of, thing in the back of my mind. So it was really, it was eye-opening for her. She enjoyed it. And we'll see if she goes down that road. But I'm going to be doing that over the next 3 weeks while they're still here, because most of them are here through August. Yeah.
So with the ones that you went to, did any of them bite? Did you get any that are going to give you the follow-up meeting? And did you get that experience?
Well, oddly enough, two of the 15 or 16 businesses were Opus Bank customers.
Oh.
Who knew? Go figure. We have a 0.3% market share. And I hit 2 businesses, but I was in Laverne.
Right.
And, it's just that we probably have a pretty deep, if I were to just Google and look at the stats, I'll have to do that. And so we got a tour. One makes figurines. And great story. This gal, she's got to be about, and I think she is in her 70s, okay? White hair. And so I walk into the office, and I say, hey, is Susie here? Yeah, let me take you out to her. Walk out, and they're on 7 acres in Laverne.
Wow.
That's a good-sized property.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Kind of tucked away. Formerly a bunch of greenhouses, but in the greenhouse, 1970s, they bought this property, and they make little figurines, animals, porcelain stuff.
Wow.
And so we go out there, and in the factory being inside the greenhouses with swamp coolers going. It wasn't, I was expecting it to be hot, and it really wasn't. And she's there painting German Shepherds, the 75-year-old lady. And, okay, well, I said, yeah, you're my bank. I'm like, really? She goes, yes. Oh, okay. Well, here, and we started talking, and she goes, well, who's this young thing? And I said, well, that's Reva. That's my intern. I said, well, hell, let's show you around. And got us some, figurines. I got a little sort of Australian Shepherd figurine there because we have an Australian Shepherd. And she gave Reva a horse. And when you go in the office, it was like a snapshot from like 1972.
That's wild.
Wow.
Okay, big ledgers, books, paper, the big pins, lift the paper over. But they also had some dot matrix printers, the wide ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just, and frozen in time, and her income's from Social Security. That's what she said. And she goes, here, let me show you something. This is my 7th album. And she pulls out a CD. She's a folk singer.
How cool is that?
Yes, it is. I have the CD. Maybe I'll go out in the car and I'll give it I'll get it over to you. But I haven't heard it yet. She played a song for us, and she's playing the guitar, acoustic, and she's got a friend of hers on banjo and another friend doing keyboards, and
that's
it was pretty
fantastic.
good. It was.
Nice.
You just never know when you walk into. That's what I love about my job is I see a variety of businesses, and you never know. It's like a box of chocolates.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
You never know what you're going to get.
So we were just in Laverne. There's the Half Foundation or Hafif Foundation.
Oh yeah, you went up to the concert under the
yeah.
stars.
Oh
It was
my gosh,
amazing.
it was so cool.
Yeah.
It was just amazing up there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Did Herb come out and give his?
No, one of his sons did.
Oh, okay. Because Herb would go out there, and boy, he is not a fan of conservatives. Oh man, he got after the third time I was there, I'm not going to listen to this speech anymore. So I guess he's not giving the speech.
Well, his son gave a speech, but it was very
Greg, right? Greg Half.
Probably,
yeah.
But he talked, just talked about the nonprofits who were there, and and then there was this fabulous music.
Did Walters do the food?
Yes, Walters did the food, and there was a giant cookie at the end.
Oh wow! There you go.
Big cookie, and I gave mine to Tobin.
Okay. So I had 2 cookies. It was
so that's why you're a triathlete.
Yes.
Okay, yes, okay.
I try everything.
Because you. Oh man, you guys are on fire this morning. The Concert on the Stars. For anybody who doesn't know, I mean, if you're a nonprofit, they will give you the seats so you can sell them, and you keep all the money. Yeah. Right. Is that how it worked for you guys? Yeah.
Yes. Well, we were there on behalf of the San Bernardino Crossroads Rotary Club, and so there were a bunch of Rotarians there, and there were 1,000 people. It was
who was the band?
It was
they had 2 bands.
They had 2. We left before the second one.
Okay.
But the first one was kind of funk, R&B, gospel. They were phenomenal.
Yeah. Yes.
They were
the second
incredible.
one was a Latin jazz band. I say jazz. I wasn't there because we had left already, but some of the videos I saw, it looked like it was jazz or some pop.
Okay. Yeah, and my hat's off to Herb Half and his family there for putting that on, because that's a huge estate up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we had a great time. And the weather, we were surprised because it is higher enough in elevation and there are enough trees on the property that it was significantly cooler than down at the in the basin.
We thought we were going to be cooking.
We thought we were going to be dying out there.
And it starts late enough where the sun's going down. You're not beaten in the sun.
Yeah.
No, it's a good event.
So it's time for a break. Adam, it's always a treat to have you on with us. Let everybody know how they can find you.
On LinkedIn's the best way. I do have a Twitter account, but I got 5 followers. I don't know.
And you probably check it once every 5 months.
No, I look at it all the time because there's all sorts of stuff that's going on there. Yeah. One of my cousins works for Sports Illustrated. He's always tweeting stuff out. So
Aaron, go and friend him so he has 6. No, seriously, just take a moment.
All right, so you can go search for Adam Russell on LinkedIn.
Yes,
and they will find you.
Yeah, they'll find me, absolutely.
Well, thank you for joining us today. As always, it's so much fun. I just texted you. That's what that ding was. And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we will be right back.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292 FQ Riverside, and K293 CF Moreno Valley.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carter. Divers going back into Table Rock Lake near Branson, Missouri this morning after a deadly duck boat accident. 11 people confirmed dead after the tourist boat capsized yesterday during a storm. Ginny Carr was an eyewitness on the nearby Branson Belle showboat and told NBC's Today Show.
I went to a window as I was looking out watching, and I prayed and I cried.
31 people on board the boat when it went down. At least 5 people are still missing this morning. 7 people were injured. At least 2 are in critical condition. The next time President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin talk, they'll be in Washington. The White House confirming that while in Helsinki, Trump asked National Security Advisor John Bolton to invite Putin to Washington in the fall. Trump was widely criticized after his Monday meeting with Putin. Democrats and Republicans have panned Trump for appearing to give up too much ground over the issue of Russian interference in the 2016 election. Lisa Carter, NBC News Radio.
It's time for traffic on KCAA. I'm Erin Brinker. In Temecula on the 15 northbound after Rainbow Valley Boulevard, a car went off the right shoulder embankment. In Corona on the 15 southbound after Wyrick Road, an accident there has been cleared, but slow traffic is still backed up from Cajalco Road. This has been your traffic report on KCAA. We are the stations that leave no listener behind. I'm Erin Brinker.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Alvin Washington. Sunny and hot this morning, a high of 92. Partly cloudy this evening and windy, a little warm, 68 the low. Sunny, hot, and windy on Saturday, a high of 93. I'm Alvin Washington, broadcasting live from the Tri-City Center at the 10 and 210 freeways. We are the trifecta of talk in Southern California, KCAA, 102.3 FM, Riverside, 106.5 FM Redlands, and The Legacy, 1050 AM, Loma Linda, San Bernardino.
When Michelle lost her job, her home, and her children because of her addiction, she was desperate to make a change. She felt hopeless. Then she discovered Cedar House Life Change Center in Bloomington. Their staff showed Michelle how to live drug-free and be the mother she always knew she could be. You know what it feels like to be trapped in your addiction? Too many people in our community feel that way every day. That's why Cedar House is here to help with a range of residential and outpatient care. To support the mission of recovery, visit cedarhouse.org, where they say, "Come grow with us."
Are you having trouble sleeping? Are you always tired and worn out? Is it affecting your work and personal life? Well, South Pacific Sleep Lab can help you out. South Pacific Sleep Lab provides a personal study of your sleep patterns. With their trained specialists, they will diagnose your sleep habits and will give you a prognosis for getting a great relaxing night of sleep. South Pacific Sleep Lab has locations throughout Southern California, including Fontana, and will provide transportation to any of their locations at no cost to you. To find out more, give them a call at 844-SAD-5050. That's 844-SAD-5050. South Pacific Sleep Lab. Start resting easy and sleeping sound today.
KCAA.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we're on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 FM 106.5 and FM 102.3. So it looks like San Bernardino County is joining the ranks of other states and counties across the country that are suing drug companies.
Really?
Yes. So for the drug companies and distributors over the opioid epidemic.
Wow. I didn't know. I hadn't heard about this.
Crazy. Now, Tobin, are you hearing Spanish music in your headphones?
I am.
I don't know where that's coming from. And it shouldn't be coming through our headphones on our board. And so I don't know where that is. If you all hear that, I apologize. I don't know how to fix that. So as soon as the show is off the air, we're going to call our engineers in and say, what the heck?
Right.
So I apologize.
Maybe someone's trying to teach us Spanish sort of like subconsciously.
Maybe
like
that's
it's
exactly that's this subconscious learning of Spanish through mariachi music or whatever it is that we're listening to. All right, so San Bernardino County filed a lawsuit on Thursday, July 19th, against a number of drug companies, distributors, and pharmacies, alleging their aggressive and fraudulent marketing of prescription and opioid painkillers and distribution practices have led to the opioid crisis plaguing the county and the nation. County officials say at least 35 people died in 2017 from opiate overdoses. Apart from that, there were at least 259 non-heroin opioid overdose emergency department visits and 179 hospitalizations as a result of opioid overdoses in San Bernardino County. The county has felt the severe effects of the opioid crisis, according to Board of Supervisors Chairman Robert Levingood. Now, we have not been hit in this state the way that the middle of the country, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, interestingly enough, and many, many other places, these small towns that have been just decimated. They have, multiple overdoses every day. And it's to the point where they've got it. So you can buy Narcan in the grocery store, in the pharmacies. That's how common, and Narcan is it counteracts an overdose, but you have to give it within a certain amount of time, or the person dies.
Wow.
So, crazy, right?
I think there's some benefit, though, because we've got to get some pressure on these drug companies to change their behavior. That's really what the focus has to be.
The idea, and this is essentially what happened, we've talked about this before, is that the erroneously, the makers like Purdue Pharmaceutical, who makes OxyContin, they got it in their heads that their particular opioid or synthetic heroin essentially was not addictive, and so they marketed it that way. And so hallelujah, here is a panacea for people who deal with chronic pain. And before they knew it, people were prescribing it left and right, which of course Purdue Pharmaceuticals thought that was wonderful, and it turned everybody into addicts.
And then these companies turned a blind eye when you begin to see these pharmaceutical mills that are requesting way more drugs.
Yeah, these pill mills
than you should have in any given area, and they've got the records. I mean, this would not be hard for them to identify at all where their drugs are going to be able to kind of say, wait, this isn't right. But they didn't. They just said, well, we're making good money, and they just kind of turned a blind eye. And I think that's the behavior we've got to stop. I mean, obviously, I don't want to limit their ability to sell medicine. We need medicine for its proper uses, but there needs to be some ability to rein them in when their business practices become more about making the money than about actually helping people, because they become the problem.
So I'm going to go ahead and move us to a break and then call our engineer to find out why we're hearing this this music in the background.
¿Dónde está?
What?
I know I'm trying to speak Spanish. I'm just being silly. Sorry.
¿Dónde está? All right. I'm Erin Breaker.
And I'm Tobin Breaker.
We'll be right back.
Are you having trouble sleeping? Are you always tired and worn out? Is it affecting your work and personal life? Well, South Pacific Sleep Lab can help you out. South Pacific Sleep Lab provides a personal study of your sleep patterns. With their trained specialists, they will diagnose your sleep habits and will give you a prognosis for getting a great relaxing night of sleep. South Pacific Sleep Lab has locations throughout Southern California, including Fontana, and will provide transportation to any of their locations at no cost to you. To find out more, give them a call at 844-SAD-5050. That's 844-SAD-5050. South Pacific Sleep Lab. Start resting easy and sleeping sound today.
Drivers, when it's time to visit the DMV, avoid the long lines and save time by calling toll-free 833-DMV-LINE. That's 833-DMV-5463.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-643-6931 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-643-6931 to take your call now. Call 1-800-643-6931. That's 1-800-643-6931. Again, 1-800-643-6931.
Whether you swing a hickory shaft Massey Niblick or the latest titanium hybrid, golf is your game, and the Boy Scouts need you. To be specific, the California Inland Empire Council of the Boy Scouts of America need your help in joining them for their 10th annual Golf Classic at Los Sureños Golf Club in Chino Hills on Friday, August 10th. A continental breakfast and a lunch are included, and we tee off at 7:45 a.m. Proceeds will help to offer young people responsible fun and adventure.
This is Dick from Carpet Masters. Carpet Masters has been serving the Inland Empire for over 55 years. Carpet Masters uses extraction cleaning for your carpet because there's no better cleaning to remove the soil from your carpet. All of our furniture cleaning is done by hand in your home or in our plant. Carpet Masters also offers dry cleaning for fine furniture. Call Carpet Masters at 793-7215. That's 793-7215 for Carpet Masters.
Listen to KCAA Loma Linda for less confrontation and more information.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. I'm going to let the music run for a second and answer the phone. We're having an 80s day here on KCAA.
Yes.
And trying
Now,
to get rid of that mariachi music in the background.
I've been thinking about my need to fight for my right to party.
Okay, so I'm not hearing it now.
Yay. There it is.
Ah, there it is. All right, so I pull these down, and I'm not hearing it anymore.
Nice. Aaron fixed
Isn't that wild? So I'll go ahead and let them know.
Okay.
Our engineers know. So, Tobin, you pick an article.
So I wanted to talk about this one for people getting the DNA tests and finding out that their family members are not their family members and what that does to a person, right? And you and I did the DNA, right, through Ancestry.com. My parents bought that for us as a Christmas present.
It wasn't your parents. It was my brother.
Oh, it was your brother. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we got this Ancestry DNA thing, and we took the tests, and it all came back for us like we expected, for the most part. It was a little difference in terms of like how much we had of a certain region. Like I think you thought that you had more German, and
I always thought I had some German. I don't have any.
Yeah, you got no German, and I'm like 40% German. I thought it was more than that, but but our family members are our family members. Imagine taking a DNA test and finding out that your mom's not your mom or your dad's not your dad or whatever. And I say mom, that's typically not true. It's to be the dad that would be the one that's not the right one, and what that can do to you and your family. And apparently this is a fairly common thing. And so these DNA testing companies have now set up like hotlines that you can call, and they have people who will kind of walk you through that. And because the initial reaction when you find out that you're not related to somebody is to think, well, the test must have messed up.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, because my dad is my dad.
They made a mistake, right? And it's kind of a hard thing to get your head around when you realize that maybe, things didn't happen the way you thought they happened back in the day, And so I really thought this was a fascinating story. And they literally just sort of focus on some individuals and tell their story. So the first one is a woman named Catherine St. Clair. And she thought there was a technical glitch with her DNA test, right? Her brother, the brother who along with 3 other siblings had gifted her the DNA test for her birthday, wasn't showing up in her family tree. And it turns out it was not a glitch. The woman online had to gently explain to her that the man that St. Clair thought of as her father, thought of as her brother, only shared enough DNA with her to be a half-sibling. In fact, she didn't match any family members on her father's side, so her biological father must be somebody else. And, she says she looked in a mirror and started crying. Okay? Yeah. And of course, and this woman's in her 50s, right? So you're thinking her parents are in their 70s or 80s. And a lot of times, people are finding this stuff out, and that previous generation has passed away, right? You don't have someone who you necessarily go to ask, to find out, what happened, who is the right person.
Well, and if the family's been lying about it, she's 50, so the family's been lying about it for at least 50 years.
Yeah.
Somebody in the family, mom, would mom deny it? What would mom do?
Yeah. Yeah, and other family members kind of shrugged her off like it was no big deal, right? Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. It's not a big deal. And for her, it was very traumatic. Now, she had to actually use sort of the biological tools from these DNA sites to become a detective and kind of figure it out, right? Because one of the cool things is that it does connect you with people that are in your genetic line, and that allows you to begin piecing that puzzle together, and that's kind of an interesting thing. And the reason this article struck me is because when we did our DNA tests, we had a woman reach out to us on my mom's side, right, of the family, and saying we're connected. The DNA shows that we're connected, and my mom didn't want to respond to this woman, right? She didn't see the connection, didn't want to talk to her, and the woman actually ended up reaching out to you, right,
yes.
Aaron? And I wonder if somewhere up the line in my mom's side of the family there had been an affair somewhere that connected these two groups. And because my mom's like adamant, we're not connected to those people.
I've never heard of those people, is
Yeah.
what she said, I think.
And so, and that can be kind of a painful discovery to now have to go and unearth and find out that your illusion, your thought of your parents or your grandparents is not exactly true.
It's interesting. If you know that there are families where there's been whisperings that that there was a little something going on the side, and the children that resulted from that, how uneasy must they feel? And then would they be afraid to have that confirmed or not confirmed? And I think it would really mess with your head.
Yeah, I've been shocked over the years, and I shouldn't be shocked, but I've had friends who've come to me and said that there have been a period of time where their marriage, which today looks perfect, has had rough patches where they split up and dated and did other things and then came back together. And that's not something you typically tell your kids about. If you had those issues, you don't say, you
want it to be behind you. It's not something you want to relive, and you certainly don't want to bring your kids into adult problems.
Yeah, and and I know on my mom's side of the family that there was some volatility with her parents, and so it's kind of fascinating as you are going through it. And now suddenly we have the scientific tools to begin to unearth this, but it's creating a whole set of social problems. And the thing about this article that I think really grabbed me, apparently there's a Facebook group called DNA NPE, and the NPE refers to not parent expected. And so it's essentially a support group for people who've taken these DNA tests and then found out that one of their parents isn't who they thought. Right?
Yep.
They're not related.
Now, in the case of your family, I think it's not your grandparents. I think it's several generations back.
And I think that's true. But I'm just saying that I've heard stories of volatility.
Indeed.
Where they were together, they would break up, and
Yeah.
That's the environment in which stuff happens.
And I understand that whatever parents, in this particular case, whatever the father who raised this woman is her father.
Yeah.
The guy who impregnated her mother, well, certainly there's a whole another family there, but he wasn't the father to her.
No.
Now, the interesting case is, what if you have a family where the guy who you think is your father is abusive?
Yeah.
And then you find out your father was actually this other guy. How would you feel?
Right.
Especially if that other guy had a nice family.
Yeah. Well, in one of the stories that they tell, the woman confronted her mom and said, "Hey, Mom, I don't look like Dad. I've done this DNA test. It says he's not my dad. Can you please tell me who my real dad is?" And the mom essentially shuts down and says, "I can't, it won't tell you," denies it, and essentially finally cops to the fact that, yes, there was somebody else, but we can't say anything because if your father finds out, he's going to be very violent and he's going to hurt me. And so this is obviously a very dysfunctional family.
Right.
Right. And the child wants to know the truth of their genetic heritage, but doesn't want to put mom in jeopardy.
No. So then the child needs to connect to a service that connects people and hope that there are family members that she can meet.
And then what about the family member who doesn't want to be found?
Well, that certainly happens.
It does. My older sister is adopted, and when she reached an age, when she became 18, she'd always had that fascination of wanting to know. And she eventually went and did that and found her family. And when she found her biological mother, initially she wasn't accepted. This was very hard for her. And we all, kind of rallied around her to say, "Hey, this is tough. We love you and just hang in there." But then she made a connection with her biological grandmother, right, the generation before, and that turned out to be a wonderful connection. And then for a period of time, she had a connection with her biological half-sister, but there was definitely some issues within that biological family, and it was hard. to feel rejected again.
Yeah. And realizing your parents are amazing. And so she had amazing parents growing up, but you still, no matter who your biological parents are, you still want to know who they are. You still want to know who your family is and where you come from. And I think there's a basic, visceral human need to know that.
Yeah.
So,
but those issues are now being raised because of these DNA tests. And I think it's fascinating. Ever since they've started doing DNA testing, it's really captured our imagination. You think about all the TV shows that use them now, like Maury Povich, right? You're not the father.
That's his whole thing.
I know, right? But people love it. They love it. They want to hear the drama of this relationship and why they think it's this person or that person. And he usually builds it up, right? They do a lie detector test first.
Yes.
Right? And so was he lying or not lying about the cheating on you? And then they do the DNA test to tell the results. And
I swear they comb the trailer parks to find these people.
Oh, they do.
Not that there's anything wrong with trailer parks, but the stereotype.
Yeah, but the shtick, I mean, it works. And sadly, there seems to be a lot more people out there than we thought.
Yeah. Well, the good news for you is that your children look so much like you that there's absolutely zero doubt who their father is.
So this is the funny thing, and you see this in certain families. One side or the other might have really strong sort of genetic predispositions. You can look at all the kids and all the cousins from our side of the family, and they all look the same.
They do.
There's just this very strong sort of Brinker look. It's like, okay, welcome to the family.
So there's absolutely no doubt at all. Actually, there's some doubt about me being the mother. No, I'm just kidding. I had 2 pregnancies. I know I was the mother.
Right. That's why it's hard to mess with that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Unless you're doing like some sort of weird sort of in vitro surrogacy.
Or if there's been people that were switched at birth. Now that is interesting because you could definitely uncover that with DNA testing.
And wouldn't that be a shocker?
Oh, my goodness.
Wouldn't that be a shocker for everybody involved?
Yeah.
Wow.
That would be a shocker. Absolutely. So, looking forward to this weekend. We've had weekends where it's go, 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 and this weekend's going to be a little more quiet. A friend of ours is having a 50th birthday party.
Got to give a shout out. Got to give a shout out.
So happy birthday, Jaime Vilches.
Right.
And we'll sing you happy birthday on your actual day. But we're turning 50 is a big deal.
It is. It is. And Jaime's been through a lot lately, and I'm just glad he's still walking around. We love that guy, and he's just one of our best friends in the world, and can't wait to party with him tomorrow. So let's go ahead and call it a day. I'm Erin Brinker. And I'm Tobin Brinker. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. We are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. See you Monday. Are you or a loved one suffering from an addiction? If so, help is available. Many people are getting help from a recovery center called Sheer Recovery. You can call Sheer Recovery now at 888-SHEER-51. That's 888-743-3751. If you have insurance, your treatment may be covered at little to no cost. Most importantly, you can't lose your job because you decide to get help. Sheer Recovery is staffed with professionals who understand addictions and how to treat addictions. They understand what an addicted person goes through every day. So if you or a loved one are suffering from an addiction, it's time to call Sheer Recovery at 888-SHEER-51. That's 888-743-3751. A better life begins with Sheer Recovery. Call 888-743-3751 or go online at www.sheerrecovery.com.